A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Audio clip shows Kevin McCarthy planning to urge Trump to resign after Capitol riot. An audio clip has surfaced that purports to show that House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy had planned to urge then-President Donald Trump to step down following the Capitol riot.
While McCarthy has since called the audio clip totally false and misleading, he has distanced himself from the remarks by wishing Twitter would take down accounts of certain House Republicans. That's the kind of talk that would have the president shaking his head.
Kevin McCarthy planned to ask then-President Donald Trump to resign in wake of Capitol riot. While Trump has remained defiant about the report, his former Republican Party rival, Kevin McCarthy, has not.
He has long hoped to become Speaker of the House, but he has not yet taken that step. After the Capitol riot, McCarthy was a person of interest to a House committee investigating the incident.
He declined to use more forceful language, but went further than Trump did in public. During a call with top House Republicans on Jan.
6, McCarthy was asked about the 25th Amendment, which gives the vice president and cabinet members the right to remove a president. McCarthy was among those who objected to the election results and worried that a Democratic drive to impeach Trump would further divide the country.
Regardless, he was considering his options, including impeaching the president for the second time. However, his plan ultimately fell through, despite McCarthy's reticence.
While the House Republican leadership has remained unapologetic about his plans, the riots have fueled a rift in their ranks. Despite the rift, many Republicans believe they are the most conservative group of all.
McCarthy has been critical of Trump, but he is not yet ready to call the President of the United States of America to apologize for the uprising. McCarthy says clip is totally false and wrong.
House Speaker Mike McCarthy has denied saying that the president urged him to resign over the clip, but he didn't say so in an interview. McCarthy said he didn't make the comments during a leadership meeting on Jan.
10, 2021. A McConnell spokesman did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
He also did not say who leaked the audio clip out despite the controversy surrounding this incident. The House Intelligence Committee has made it a point to subpoena McCarthy for an interview.
This would be an extraordinary move, and would raise legal and political problems. But the move is not without precedent. McCarthy has defended the president on several occasions.
But he is now trying to repair his strained relationship with the president, even after the incident. He's even gone so far as to visit the president at Mar-a-Lago to pose for pictures.
And he's voicing hopes that Trump will motivate GOP voters to turn out for the midterms. After the January 6 insurrection on Capitol Hill, House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy said he considered asking then-President Donald Trump to resign.
But he also denied a report that he and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell had made a secret pledge to pressure the president into resigning. The report was based on the audio recording shared by 2 New York Times reporters.
McCarthy distances himself from criticism of Trump. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy has distanced himself from recent criticism of President Trump.
Trump has been under fire since a January 6 riot that occurred at the Capitol. While McCarthy has condemned Trump on the House floor and in the recording, he has avoided publicly linking the president to the incident.
But that did not stop him from visiting the president at Mar-a-Lago. It seems that McCarthy is willing to put his political future at risk to win over voters.
Since then, McCarthy has formed a close bond with the president-elect. He has a close friendship with Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein and the Liberal Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom.
The senator worked together last year on a water bill. Because of these friendships, McCarthy is expected to fare well in a Trump administration.
But he may be too close to the president-elect to distance himself from his criticism, but McCarthy has not withdrawn from the political arena, and it looks as though he's preparing for a run for Speaker of the House.
Having started building his leadership team and tasked groups of Republican lawmakers with drafting core legislative priorities, McCarthy has been preparing for a fast start in 2023. While McCarthy is aware of the downsides of power, his fellow Republicans have not responded to the inflammatory remarks of hard-right members of the conference.
McCarthy wished Twitter would shut down accounts of some House Republicans. In a new book, Rep.
Kevin McCarthy expressed a desire to shut down some House Republican Twitter accounts after their offensive posts. McCarthy, a Republican, called for President Trump to resign.
In a recent interview, McCarthy also expressed regret about the attack on the Capitol and for his characterization of President Trump's culpability. He also called for tech companies to remove some of the accounts of House Republicans from social media.
The House Republicans are putting up a strong front against President Donald Trump. However, a growing number of them are beginning to question the wisdom of McCarthy's criticism.
Earlier this year, Rep. Steve Scalise, the second-ranking Republican in the House, urged Twitter to shut down the accounts of some GOP lawmakers.
He also chided California Democratic Representative Maxine Waters for harassing Trump administration officials.
After the Capitol shooting, House Republicans discussed urging Trump to step down. However, the White House has refused to follow the advice of McCarthy, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has denied that he would call Trump in an attempt to press for his resignation.
The White House has denied that McCarthy and McConnell had made a private pledge to remove Trump from politics, and they deny that their top advisors had suggested calling Trump's Twitter account and asking for his resignation.
McCarthy urged Trump to resign. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is talking about why President Donald Trump should resign.
This comes after reports emerged of a private pledge between McCarthy and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to force Trump out of politics. Those remarks were made on Jan.
10, 2 days before House Democrats started drawing up an impeachment resolution. While McCarthy is urging Trump to resign, he is avoiding linking his comments to the Capitol siege.
House Republicans are still divided about whether to support McCarthy's call for the president to step down. The minority leader, who has the most power in the Republican Party, said he had no plans to recommend Trump's resignation before the audio was released.
That's because Trump is the most popular figure in the GOP and McCarthy has been vocal about it. And if he is forced to resign, it could jeopardize his standing with Trump-aligned House Republicans.
In addition to his position on impeachment, McCarthy's vote to become Speaker of the House could come under attack. While the president has denied having such a conversation with the senator, he has remained supportive of the GOP.
And the NYT journalists who released the audio evidence backed McCarthy's claim. They also wrote the book This Will Not Pass, which explores how the 2020 election could be won by the Democrats.
Trump was accused of inciting insurrection after the audio was released. It is possible that a majority of senators voted to impeach him on that charge.
A two-thirds majority is required to convict a president. In the end, however, Trump was acquitted by the Senate and is still in office.
Trump was acquitted of inciting an insurrection. While McCarthy denied having a conversation with Trump, audio evidence released by the New York Times corroborated the report.
The reporters who wrote the new book This Will Not Pass are also authors of the upcoming 2020 presidential election. They say that Trump's legal troubles were exacerbated by his impeachment trial on inciting and insurrection charges.
But despite the accusations, Trump has remained unacquitted. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy reportedly discussed urging former President Donald Trump to resign after the Jan. 6
riot. McCarthy told Republican leaders that he thought Trump would not voluntarily step down and contemplated rallying Congress to impeach Trump a second time.
If Trump did not resign, McCarthy said he would notify him of his plans to start the impeachment trial. House Republican leaders feared losing Trump's support if they publicly criticized the president.
However, they avoided taking a public stance and instead privately expressed their disgust over his behavior. Several Republican leaders have said they will not support the president.
While they may not support him politically, they are attempting to bolster his financial support. As a result, some of the largest corporations in the country are withholding donations to Republicans.
As a result, they are avoiding a potentially awkward vote with their colleagues. A McCarthy's standing with House Republicans.
If Kevin McCarthy's recent interview with a House Republican committee was any indication, he is in a precarious position. Not only does he depend on Trump for turnout, but he also is in the crosshairs of a committee investigating the January 6 riot.
Those reports, based on accounts in an upcoming book, are critical of McCarthy's standing with House Republicans, so while it's still unclear how much damage McCarthy's remarks could do to his prospects as Speaker, he's already begun to build his leadership team.
The former intelligence director tasked Republican lawmakers with drafting legislative proposals focused on party priorities. He hopes to take the reins of the chamber in 2023.
The downsides of such a position have already been experienced by McCarthy if Republicans win control of the House in the upcoming midterm elections. McCarthy is next in line to become Speaker.
But the audio recordings suggest a different side of McCarthy than the one the public has seen over the past year. In fact, McCarthy has continued to remain allied with Trump even after he publicly questioned his own decision to resign.